Hello, I'm Denali Shivens, and in this video today, I'm going to be breaking down the top 10 most cost-effective gym supplements ranked by yours truly. So let's get into it. Nah, I just hit 335 on bench. You gotta watch that first. Lightweight, baby! Alright, getting back to the regular scheduled program, we're gonna start with number 10 being coenzyme Q10. So, CoQ10 is an antioxidant, and it plays a really big role in energy production in your body. However, you produce it naturally, and you already get it in food. And the studies do show that it works, which surpasses 99% of supplements on the market. And it's only 25 cents for a 300 milligram dose. However, I haven't noticed any effects myself, and neither have most people I know, and the studies just show a really marginal benefit. Also, 25 cents spent every single day does add up, so it makes this list, however, it's on the very bottom. Bringing us into number 9, being protein powder. I've had protein powder, you've had protein powder, we've all had protein powder, I guarantee it. It is a staple, it is an absolute staple. It's advertised as being very convenient, which it totally is. It's advertised as being pretty tasty, which sometimes it is. And it's advertised as being cost effective, which it just simply is not. Now, protein, the cheapest protein to sell at Costco, which is the cheapest place to buy protein, I guarantee it, comes in at 4 cents per gram of protein. However, if you buy chicken breast, it's literally half that. It's 2 cents per gram of protein. And even just go to the store and buy a gallon of milk, it's 3 cents per gram of protein. So you're just selling out convenience for the cost. And in that spirit, it makes the bottom of this list. However, I do think protein powders are a great supplement to have. And coming in at number 8, we have ashwagandha. Now, ashwagandha is an adaptogen, meaning it helps you overcome and adapt to stress. It's been noted at increasing testosterone levels of, I think, about 20% according to studies. It's marginally noticeable myself from my anecdotal experience. I do think the number one thing it helps with is actually stress and recovery following a hard workout, especially when you're pushing heavy weights. I don't think it helps muscular recovery at all. I haven't noticed any increase in testosterone. But after I have a really heavy powerlifting session and my central nervous system is just fried, I totally feel a sense of recovery taking ashwagandha. And may that be placebo, may it not. I do notice it, which is why it beats the other supplements on this list. However, coming in at 14 cents a gram, 14 cents a 500 milligram dose at Costco. It's not the cheapest, not the most expensive. Putting it at number 8 due to its sort of limited actual effects. Number 7 is going to be elcitrine. So, for those of you who don't know, elcitrine is a non-essential amino acid. It is the precursor to nitric oxide in your bloodstream, which is what carries oxygen around everywhere. It is in every pre-workout you've ever taken, and it is wonderful. It is excellent stuff. It's great for mental clarity. It's great for blood flow. It's great for pumps. However, it's just too bloody expensive to put any higher. So on NutriVitaShop, which is where I buy most of my supplements, I'm not sponsored or anything. It's just a nice company you buy supplements in bulk. It comes out to, I believe, 5 cents per gram, which is 40 cents for an 8-gram dose, which is what I like to have before the gym, and that makes it too expensive to put higher in this list. However, I do adore it. I think it's a fantastic pump product and just an overall mental clarity booster, and I take it every single day. Number 6, beta-alanine. Alright, so let me center my chair first before I make a lot of creaking noises. Beta-alanine is another one of those non-essential amino acids, so it's time-tested. It does what it does, and it does it well, and what it does is it changes your lactate threshold. Now, a lot of you gym bros looked at me and said, what the fuck did that guy just say? But lactate threshold is essentially when your muscles start producing lactate, and they kind of shut down after that. However, it doesn't really matter when you're going for a 1 rep max on the bench press. A lot of sort of pre-workouts will put this in here. It's the thing that makes you feel itchy and tingly afterwards. It certainly does its job, and it is really bloody cheap. However, for most gym goers, it's not so necessary, which is why it earns number 6, coming in at about 4 cents per standard 2-gram dose from NutriVitaShop. I think 6 is the perfect spot for this. Number 5, Tonkat Ali. So Tonkat Ali is a root, and it's meant to really increase your testosterone levels. Now, I've never gotten my testosterone levels checked, so I have no way to verify that. And a lot of the studies that show that it increases them are just run by the companies themselves that sell Tonkat Ali. So I don't really buy it necessarily. I also think that you have to realize, as a natural, your androgen sensitivity is a much bigger dictator of the overall effect of how much your testosterone matters. So these natural fluctuations that happen throughout the day aren't really going to make any difference in the end. But what I have noticed, and why it makes such a high place on this list, is an absurdly large increase of mood and energy and libido throughout the day that just carries on the entire way. There's no sort of crash. It's just a long ride. I take it in the morning. Complete energy booster. I love it. It's fantastic. However, it's bloody expensive, which is why it only garners number 5. NutriVita shot coming in at 40 cents per standard dose. And that's not even the standard dose. What it recommends is 80 cents a day. However, I dropped that to half because I'm not made of money.
Number 4, vitamin D.
Now, a lot of you guys heard that, and you're probably like, well, this guy's crazy. Vitamin D doesn't do jack shit. And you're right, it doesn't do jack shit unless you're not getting enough. And I live in Alaska, and I don't get any sun, and I made this list, so shut up. If you are deficient, vitamin D absolutely increases testosterone, absolutely increases mood, absolutely increases energy, absolutely increases bone density, all the great things you want. Vitamin D is completely amazing for you, and you might as well supplement because it only comes out to 2.5 cents a day for a 2,000 IU dose from Costco wholesale.
Number 3, creatine.
If you thought creatine was making it to the top of this list, you are just wrong. However, creatine is the most tested supplement. You've probably heard that a million times. It's fantastic. It draws water into your muscles. It gives you better endurance in the gym. It doesn't outright make you stronger, but because you're able to get 13 reps now instead of 12, that volume adds up over your training blocks, and you become stronger. It's great also for brain health. I think it increases average IQ and prevents dementia a little bit. As well, it's just great for your entire body. However, it doesn't make the very tippy top of this list, at least from a gym bro perspective, coming in at 15 cents for a 5-gram dose from NutriVita Shop. It is just not cheap enough to break the top 2.
Speaking of, we've got caffeine.
Now, caffeine is the drug that needs no introduction. You've all taken it. It is wonderful. It is the most widely consumed drug in the entire world. And it used to be banned, actually, in the Olympics and most tested sports because of how performance enhancing it actually is. They did a study in powerlifters, and basically they found out that taking 800 milligrams, a megadose, of caffeine increased their 1-rep max by 10%, which doesn't necessarily sound like that much if you're not used to looking at these numbers. But that is the percent difference that taking steroids makes, pretty much. That is an absurd difference in overall force output. And they also caffeine makes you happier. Caffeine makes you more focused on your workouts. It makes you enjoy them more. It just makes you stronger, makes you happier. A fantastic supplement. It could totally make number 1 on this list. The reason I'm not is because energy drinks and most forms of caffeine that you buy are normally very heavily marked up. And although you can buy caffeine for only 5 cents for a 500 milligram dose on NutriVita Shop, I don't know anybody that does that except for me. And if you buy coffee, if you buy Red Bull, if you buy whatever form of caffeine you're getting it in, it's normally a lot more expensive. So I'm kind of levying the difference between the two forms of caffeine pills versus normal means of caffeine to make it number 2 on this list. However, it is a fantastic pre-workout, fantastic supplement. I highly recommend it for the gym. Which I don't even need to do because you're probably already taking it.
And the very tippy top, baking soda.
Yes, I'm serious. Baking soda, or sodium bicarbonate, is a very basic molecule, and as you have a workout, your blood acidity level actually rises, which means your pH drops, and your muscles are just less effective at working in a very low pH environment. So by neutralizing your blood pH, it means that your muscles are able to stay stronger for longer, and that increases your endurance in the gym. And it does so by a lot, like a very substantial, noticeable amount. You just feel so much stronger near the end of the workout. You can get so many more reps during your sets, and it feels amazing. Additionally, it has a bunch of sodium in it, so you get these gnarly, out-of-this-world pumps that just feel amazing. All of that for only 2 cents for a 15-gram dose at Costco wholesale means that it deserves the king trophy of the spot. Now, if you don't believe me, take a tablespoon of baking soda next time before you go to the gym. Take about 90 minutes beforehand. It causes a little bit of stomach upsetness. You burp a bit. Not things you want right before a workout. You also need to let it do its time and digest fully. So about an hour to 90 minutes is probably the best. But believe me, you're gonna have gnarly pumps and you're gonna have the best rep set. You're gonna set a rep PR. I promise you, you'll set a rep PR. And if you don't, never take it again. It's stupidly cheap. You're not wasting out on anything. And with that, I'm gonna wrap up this video. But this is my 4th video ever, and I'm not very good at it yet. I understand my editing is subpar and my commentary is subpar and yada yada yada. But if you think I can get better, I really want to keep doing YouTube. So I would appreciate a subscription and have you along for the ride. But if not, that's fine too. Just have a wonderful rest of your day. That's what really matters. I'll leave I'll concise down everything I said and leave something in the comments so it's easy for you guys to understand and keep looking at. Maybe add to your gym notes and you can research each supplement individually and find if you want to try it. But I really do appreciate you watching this, and I love you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.